This is Michael Gerace with Clearview Sewer Cams. I'm going to pause for one moment. Okay, this is Michael Gerace with Clearview Sewer Cams. It is March 15th, 2024. We're located at 5006 West Boulevard in View Park, Los Angeles, California 90043, performing a video sewer inspection and waistline inspection through the 4-inch cleanout on the left rear hand side of the house. Right now this is going out toward, turn your camera around. This is going out toward the backyard, and that is going out toward the front yard. That's the gate that is on the left hand side of the house at the front of the house. So we're going to set our camera right at the opening of the 4-inch ABS cleanout and zero out our camera monitor so we get a good accurate reading. We're going to begin pushing in, and we do have ABS plastic, and we kind of just ran a little bit of preemptive camera work, and we can see that it transitions to cast iron, which we will see here shortly. So we're in ABS plastic now, and then we are going to transition right in front of us, right at approximately 19 feet 7 inches on the camera monitor. We transition to cast iron. The cast iron connection appears to be in fair condition. You've got some buildup, some scaling, some debris. The cast iron would probably need to be descaled and hydrojetted to try and knock down the humps, and you get barnacle type of substance at the bottom, which will catch paper and catch debris, and then it'll cause stoppages. So you want to try and knock that down a little bit. All in all, we don't see any holes in the cast iron. Just see scaling and debris from what we can see right now. But once we go ahead and descale it and hydrojet, then you can see the condition of the pipe a whole lot easier. I'm going to continue to push out. Then we're going to transition right in front of us back to ABS plastic and then to vitreous clay right here. Got a little offset in that joint, a little offset in the next joint as well. You can see the whole face of the pipe. And this is taking us to the right hand side of the house, and I believe we're going up the driveway area. We've got a belly here that's holding water. So we've got some standing water in the line. We were only on, when we were on the right hand side of the house, just outside the garage, we were at approximately 1 foot 9 inches deep. We located the area just to check it. As I said, we've got a lot of standing water. It looks like we've got some roots in the line a little bit here, and a crack in that joint at approximately 69 feet on the camera monitor, which is in the driveway. Then we transition. We have a section of ABS plastic, and I believe this is our clean out. We're going to pause for one moment and we're going to take a look at this. We're going to locate. Okay, we've located this area, and we are at approximately 3 foot 2 inches deep in the driveway area right at the clean out. We're going to continue to try and push out, see if we can get out and reach the city sewer. May be difficult because of the length, and we have poor grade. We're going to try and push out a little bit further and see if we can push out. Kind of difficult to push out. Kind of difficult to push out from here. I think we're going to have to move our equipment to the other clean out and try and run from there to the city sewer to try and look at the remainder of the piping. So we're going to pause for a moment. Okay, we've moved our equipment to the driveway area, and this is going out toward the street, and this is going back toward the back of the house, and then down to our 3.5-inch ABS plastic clean out. Now this is the mainline sewer clean out right here. We're going to run from here and attempt to get all the way to the street. It appears that we have a T. We zeroed out our camera monitor. Now it looks like we have a T, so we have to be careful of which way we're going. And unfortunately, if we had a stoppage from here out, trying to run through this area, it'd be very difficult to tell which way your snake is going because there is no divider, or it should be a combi. As deep as it is, it should be a combination Y fitting that's sweeping out toward the street. But we're going to attempt to try and get out running toward the street. See it? Okay, appears that we're running out toward the street, and we are in ABS plastic right now. We got some buildup in there a little bit. Doesn't look terrible. We've got a little flat spot. We're holding a little bit of water. Not terrible though. We're running out toward the street, and now we're going underwater a little bit more in some areas. We have some small bellies, and then it appears that we're going to transition to vitreous clay, and we're going to check this area and see exactly where we're at. Going to run up to the edge of the vitreous clay, and we're going to put our locator on and take a quick look. Okay, we've located this area, and we are at approximately 4 foot 8 inches deep in the driveway area. We are at the end of the saw cut. There's about an 18-inch wide saw cut that is on the left-hand side of the driveway as you're entering from the street, and we're at the end, which is closer to the street. And now we're going to continue to push out and take a look at the remainder of the line. And then we got a vitreous clay joint here. We have a little bit of root intrusion, a little bit of separation right there. Making a turn. We have another root intrusion. We have a fairly large offset there. Making a little bit of another turn. We have another clay joint. Has a small offset, not terrible. Going through a lot of turns makes it difficult to try and push through. We had a couple more vitreous clay joints. Didn't look terrible. Looked to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. Coming up to another joint, and that vitreous clay joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Going to continue running out toward the street. Another vitreous clay joint. Fair and maintainable condition. Have our, appears to be our test tee right at the property line. We're going to continue to run in. We should probably increase right there to our 6-inch. So that is our 4-inch to 6-inch city lateral transition. We have a offset right past that area. It's not terrible. It's just a small offset. We're going to continue to run out toward the street. We're going to pause for a moment and try and run some water. We went through a lot of turns, makes it very difficult. So we're going to try and run some water and see if it'll help us push out to the city sewer. We're going to pause right here for a moment. We have water running inside the house. It's going to take a moment because it's such a long run for the water to reach this area. And then we'll continue to push out toward the street. Okay, the water has reached us. We're going to continue to push out. The water helps us. Try and get out to the city sewer. And then we'll shut the water off, let it subside. And then we'll pull back and take a look at the line. That appears to be our city sewer tie-in connection. We're going to pause for a moment and locate this area, and then we're going to shut the water off and let it subside. Okay, we are at the city sewer tie-in connection. We are at about 11 feet deep, and you can see this is the city sewer, and that's the connection right there. Pulling back very easily right here, slowly, we can see that there's separation at the saddle area, but it's not terrible. We don't have any breaks, no major root intrusions there, so it's still in a maintainable condition. Pulling back, the next joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. We couldn't see this area because we had a lot of water running, trying to help us push our camera out. Next joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition, and all of this piping is vitreous clay pipe and fittings. It's all hub and spigot. You've got a round piece of pipe that goes into a big bell, and concrete is packed around it. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. Minor root intrusion there, very minor. The root intrusion in the piping that I've seen so far can be maintained with a chemical called Root X, ROOTX. Flush down once a year, flush down the toilet. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. We're going to continue to pull back now. Next joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. So we're pulling back toward our mainline clean out. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition.
Just next Friday, the report's going to be out on Monday.
Okay, great.
Same as that joint. Fair and maintainable condition.
Yeah, but not.
As is that joint. And that joint as well. Coming up a little bit. Got a little bit of an offset right there by the 4 to 6 inch connection. A little bit of a shift, but not terrible. Don't see any major issues. And this is the 4 inch by 6 inch city lateral transition. And the homeowner is responsible for the transition. And we just passed the test tee. It's a tee to test the line when it was put in. And everything appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this point. We'll just watch the joints and we'll call out any joints that we see that are not in fair and maintainable condition at this point. Everything looks good. Making a turn. Coming back up. Now we have some root intrusion there, and do have a little bit of a crack in the pipe there, but and it also may be the face. It could be just the face of the piping that we're seeing that appears to be a crack. So you have some minor root intrusion. Still in fair and maintainable condition at this time. You're going to pull back. Eventually that joint may need to be replaced. Right past it, it appeared that the piping could have been cracking a little bit. There's a small crack in this joint as well. This is in the driveway area, and nothing major, still in fair and maintainable condition, but again, in time, it may need to be replaced. Now we're transitioning back to ABS plastic right here. Now we're pulling back toward our clean out. I believe from that point, this is where we have the saw cut in the driveway. This is at the end of the saw cut. We have all ABS plastic pipe and fittings, and everything that we could see earlier was in fair and maintainable condition. Have a little bit of standing water. It's kind of flat right here a little bit. You can see where there's water standing in the piping, and our camera's kind of flipped around a little bit. but you're holding water, not terribly. The camera head's an inch in diameter, and you're out of the water, so we're holding about a 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch of water probably at the bottom of the piping. So it's just not graded a 1/4 inch per foot of fall. And that will conclude our video sewer inspection. A recommendation will be to descale the cast iron line under the house all the way outside the garage area and hydrojet, and we will also give you a quote on replacing that cast iron. And that will conclude our video waste line and sewer line inspection. Thank you.